Welcome back. This is the one talk show in America you must tune into every day because we help you make better money moves, and no better money move could you make than to pick up the phone and call Lyn Rowe, certified financial planner. Now, here is her telephone number, 877-270-3127. She's not going to talk to you about mutual funds. She's not going to talk to you about, advanced estate planning and all that stuff, although she can. She's going to talk to you about health care. Health care for yourself, health care for your family, long-term care, and whether or not you can afford to take time off from work to take care of an aging relative or a parent or a child even that needs assistance. Long-term health care is probably one of the most important decisions that Jeannie and I have ever made. And Lyn, in a matter of hours, I went from fully insurable to probably uninsurable, just like that.
Yeah, well, and that's true, Ray. You're absolutely right, because insurability, as we know, really has different levels. I mean, there is totally uninsurable, totally uninsurable, and then there is can't get the plan that I'd really like to have in uninsurable, or can't afford the coverage uninsurable. And then there is, we're insurable, we're good, we're healthy, we can get everything we want, we get to pick, and so forth. So that's one of the reasons when I meet with people, the first thing I do is I do a pre-qualification process to run them by all the carriers. It's anonymous, it's safe, but by the time we actually have our meeting, we know who's on and who's off that table.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Let's talk about this for just a sec, because we were discussing this whole point of caregivers and baby boomers, and I had this idea that I think you said was brilliant, but I'll let you be the judge of that. That was off the air. We'll see if you think it's as brilliant on the air. But I was thinking about, the baby boom generation, even younger, people in their 40s and so forth.
Right.
Who, if they were to buy their own long-term care insurance policy that takes care of themselves, what they would pay at 45 is way less than they're going to pay procrastinating and putting it off until 65. So let's say at 65 it's $5,000 a year, and at 45 it's $2,000 a year, to pick a number.
Right.
Why not spend the $5,000 a year at 45 and take that extra money and insure your parents?
And it may not even be that much.
Yeah, now you said to me something that I'm not going to say I don't believe you, but it just sounds too good to be true to me.
Right. And
you said, well, say it again. What can I get for $100 a month?
For under $100 a month, you can get 1,500 lifetime home care hours for a parent.
So I have a parent, all right?
Yes.
My father can perform all of the activities of daily living.
Which are, again, bathing, eating, dressing, toileting, transferring in and out of bed.
And drinking. Well, it's a different kind of drinking, but he does that very well.
Bathing, eating, dressing, toileting, transferring, and continence.
He can do all of the above. Well, I won't get into the specifics, but he can do all of the above.
Yes.
So what you're telling me is I could give this company, or you, whoever it is, $100 a month or less, and he would get 1,500 hours of somebody that will sit with him, make sure he takes his meds, take him to go to the cemetery every day. You fix him lunch, make sure he eats properly.
Takes his meds, like you said.
Unbelievable deal. How can you do that? That doesn't make sense. $100 a month.
This company responded to a lot of the problems people were running into. Ray, 12% of the people under 50 get turned down. 20% between 50 and 60 get turned down. 25% between 60 and 70.
But they're not turned down because they can't perform the activities of daily. They're turned down because of a heart problem.
A heart problem. They might have arthritis. They might have joint issues that have to be addressed, and they put that off. I mean, there's lots of reasons people do get turned down, or what we call
So let me just make sure that I understand, because
Sure.
this is brand new. This isn't even an insurance policy. This is some kind of a cooperative, right?
Right. It's a membership. It's not brand new. These gentlemen have worked on this with actuaries. They spent 2 years doing the research and putting together the plan.
And you've actually put people in this, and
I
you've
put
watched
my brother
it.
in this.
You put your brother in it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So again, like $100 a month.
Yeah.
And it's a maximum of 5 hours a day, you said?
5 hours a day with skill,
Up to
with a
1,500
licensed caregiver.
hours. That's a lot of days.
Yes.
For $100 a month.
Yes.
What happens when you run out of days? Can you re-up it?
No, that's why they have other packages that you could buy up front, and you could, if time progresses and you decide you want to scale back, you could scale back. But if you've been in care or you've lost one of those activities of daily living, can't go up.
Got it.
Okay, but if you're not in care, you haven't lost any of those activities of daily living, and you had a birthday and you think, maybe I should get the bigger plan, you can do it.
Now, you said that's Monday through Friday. What, do you have a weekend program too?
They do have the ability to pay a friend or a neighbor or an associate to come in after hours or on the weekends.
Now, that's a pretty amazing thing. So,
Yeah.
well, here's what I'm hearing, folks. There's a potential solution for just about everyone out there. Now, I want to talk about the big bugaboo.
Yep.
Money.
Yep.
Because I don't know how many
Start
times.
with the budget.
Yeah, we talked. I don't know how many times you've come to me and you've said, well, you have this really great listener. His name is Charlie. And I've had 19 meetings with Charlie.
Yes.
And we've gone through 26 iterations of a plan. And Charlie just can't or won't pull the trigger.
Yeah. It's because people don't know their cash flow. They're not comfortable with making a commitment. They need to just go through, and I can give them a quick formula to figure out what cash flow they could actually afford, and then we can move forward. But you need to find that number out first, because it's like buying a house. You get pre-qualified, you go shopping for the house because you know how much you're going to be able to afford to spend on a monthly basis.
But it is really a money issue. People, I don't know of anyone that says, no, I don't need insurance. I don't need long-term care. I would, if it were free, I'd buy it. But since it costs money, I don't really need it.
Oh, there are people that say that.
There are.
Lots.
Really?
Yeah.
So how do you get beyond that? I mean, so I do a budget and I've got $500 a month spare cash flow. I start thinking of every which way that I could spend that $500 a month, except on the stuff that's important.
This is the no-spin health care zone here. Okay, we're going to talk about the fact that it's going to be a 70% chance of a couple one of you needing some form of long-term care. And you can kid yourselves, but the reality is it's going to happen.
So when you talk about kidding yourself, what about the kids? Because they're ultimately the ones that are going to pay. Either they're going to pay in a no inheritance because all of the assets will have been drained by the time the parent dies.
And that's okay as long as their folks get good care and they're fine.
It's not okay to me.
I understand.
It's not okay to me because I want to leave my kids. I was just thinking about this morning.
Yes.
A legacy, because all of the kids are different. They're in different stages of their lives. They have different levels of success and so forth. And, all but one of them have their own kids, which I worry about.
Right.
I don't want to be sitting up in heaven looking down at my children and grandchildren struggling. I'm sorry, that's just the way I'm built.
You bring up a good point. I mean, look at kids now with education and the problems that they're dealing with that. If there is no inheritance likelihood.
And I don't want them to rely on the government.
Right.
The stability of our government right now and these programs. We keep talking about spending more money and more taxpayer money. Sooner or later, some Donald Trump is going to get in there and say, enough is enough.
Yeah, we are the taxpayer. Well, and you bring up such a good point, Ray. 70% of the people in skilled care today are on public assistance. These were not flakes. These were not crooks. These were people who worked hard all their lives.
And had to spend all their money.
And did not plan for this.
All right, so here's the deal. Folks, we've been talking about procrastination today. There's nothing more important than planning for a secure retirement. Being secure in your retired years. And so I want you to put it to the top of the priority list today. All right? Will you promise me that you'll put it to the top of the priority list? If you don't call Lyn Rowe, call somebody. But I'll give you her number. It's 877-270-3127. Promise? 877-270-3127. IWantMyLTC.net. She can work on a budget with you. She can explain how if you're younger, you can take care of yourself, your spouse, and your parents for about the same money that you would spend or less than if you wait until you're my age to buy it. And again, I want to thank you personally because you helped motivate me, got me off the dime from procrastinating. I still have a sore rear end from your size 3 shoe that almost landed up
There
there.
are some people that I will be a little more firm with.
Lyn Rowe, IWantMyLTC.net. Thank you, Lyn. We'll come back.